Alrighty, so I'm gonna be building a man basket that we can put on out on the forks of our tractors out here. And I'm actually gonna be using my neighbor's tractor just because it's a bigger tractor. So I want it to be sized for the bigger tractor, and it will still work on my tractor. Now our forks are different, different widths apart. Theirs are wider, but both of our tractors have skid steer plates on the front of them, so they're just quick change, easy to take them on, put them off, and we can just swap. So if I need to use my tractor with the man basket, just swap them forks, and then they'll still have hay forks, so they don't lose any capability, and it'll work out just fine. So a lot of times we do work out of tractor buckets. I've called the backhoe over there my backhoe ladder several times, climb up in the bucket of that to do something that's up over your head instead of trying to drag a ladder out. But that's not super safe, and so we're going to build an actual man basket that we can work out of. First thing I need to do is select out some of this pipe. It's not all very good pipe. This H that's on the ground here, the reason it's not actually in the ground somewhere is because when I went to weld it up, it was just burning through because it was completely rusted and coming apart. I couldn't tell from the outside when I cut it, but we're going to go through and kind of pick out 4 or 5 pieces of my better pipe and start making some cuts. So I've got a chop saw borrowed from the neighbors, and we're going to start getting ready. I'll bring their tractor over here. Or actually, you know what? I might just see if they wanted to swap forks out, and then it'd be on my tractor. That'd be probably more convenient. So anyway, I'll go through here and just sort out, like I said, some of the better looking pipe, because this is going to be holding us people, so it needs to be good. So gonna do that. We'll get set up, and we'll get to going on cutting. So as far as the way I'm going to build it, the OSHA standard for like handrails is 43 inches at the top with a mid rail, and then a 4-inch toe board at the bottom. So I'm going to build it that way. OSHA created it. I figure it should be good. That's the way all of our like scissor lifts and stuff like that at work are. So just got to kind of figure out how much pipe I'm going to need for that, and we can go ahead and get started on like the uprights. I know what size those are going to be. 43 inches, minus the top rail. So call it 40 inches, and there's a standard on that, plus or minus like 2 inches, I think. So I've got some down here, cut-offs. That'd be probably perfect for that. I can go ahead and get some saddles cut on them, start getting some stuff ready for when I get the tractor over here to actually start tacking everything together. So, all right, I'll be back to you here in a little bit. I started to put the camera down, then I saw this piece of pipe. You can see where it's got that hole in it. That's just rusted all the way through. And typically there will be a spot, a long ways in there that might be rusted out. So that's what I'm looking for as far as the pipe goes. Anything that has rust holes in it like that, we're not going to be using for this. Try to find stuff that's in better shape. So good part about these is I've already cut into them so I can see the cross section in the middle. So I know those are going to be pretty good. And yeah, all right, here we go. Sometimes, a lot of times actually I make drawings on paper, but when I actually get to working on something to actually go and start building it, I like to do what I call table CAD. And so instead of having a piece of paper that can blow away or catch on fire or something like that, I like to just draw it on something. And this is just chalk, so it'll wash right off the trailer eventually. Here's kind of a back view. This upright right here in the front, so this is the bottom, this is the top. You're looking at it from the tractor's point of view. Now this one, shadow's messing you up. This one, that's actually on the front side. So if you look over here, looking at the bottom, everywhere you see an X, that's where I intend to put an upright. And so again, those will be approximately 43 inches from the floor to the top of the handrails. So one up here in the middle, just to kind of strengthen everything so there's no flex on the handrails up there. And then this is where the forks are going to slide in. So this will be whatever the width of the forks are. So I'm going to put one upright above each of the forks coming out of the top of the forks directly. And that should help keep it from flexing or bowing or anything like that. Help transfer as much of the weight into the forks, hopefully as efficiently as possible. This, we're going to be using 2x6 for the floors. So this width here, this length, I suppose, will be approximately the length of the forks, depending on how that works out with the 2x6s. So I still need to measure them yet, and then determine, what that equivalent 2x6 dimension is, and then find one that kind of fits. Kind of like this trailer, we'll be leaving slight gaps, probably not this much. They'll be a little bit tighter, I think is what I want, but they'll have a little bit of gap in there. So I just need to figure out what that dimension is actually going to be. And that's going to be from the outside of the pipe to the outside of the pipe. So I'm going to measure that, and then we'll notch the 2x6s out around all of the uprights. And then these two pieces of pipe I selected right here just because they look really good, especially this one. Really nice, clean looking pipe. And then this one's a good thick diameter as well. Not quite as clean, but good solid pipe. But my intention is for the forks to actually slide inside of there. Now, you know, that's not very much tolerance, but I want it to be fairly tight because that's going to keep it from tilting, rocking, bouncing around, and that's the type of stuff that causes people to lose their balance. So we don't want any of that. No chance of falling. Even if you stay in the basket, I don't want you to fall out or fall down. You can still get hurt. And I didn't draw it in yet, and I'll have to find the material to do this, but there will be a 4-inch toe board across the bottom. So for now, before I have, since I don't have all my dimensions yet, all my material over here is plenty long. So I think what I want to do is try and get set up, and we'll cut just half of the saddles in on all of these, and half of the miters on these. And that way I'm kind of halfway ready. By the time I actually get the tractor over here, we'll be able to start stabbing stuff together, tacking it up, and we won't spend all day cutting. Those saddles, they just take a lot of time to cut, so I'm going to try and do about half of them. And then over here, this is actually great. I found a lot of these dimensions just happen to work out to be able to fit some of the scraps I had left over from other projects. But so I've got two longer pieces here. Again, those are scrap from a fencing project. I've got all these pieces here that are scrap from a fencing project. And so we're going to be using these for my uprights. That will be my front, top and bottom, the handrail at the top, and then at the bottom, the bottom of the frame. Now, this one looks like pretty good pipe if you just look at it from the outside. You know, there's nothing obviously wrong with it. When you actually look at it though, see how that dimension right there, that wall thickness is gone? And that's just erosion from the drilling fluid and whatever crap used to be flowing through this when it was in service. And so that wall right there is less than half the thickness it is supposed to be. So this one got rejected. I was going to use it until I saw that. And that's what I was talking about when I said I was going to try and sort out my better material. So not using that type of crap, going to use the good stuff. So let me see if I can get the old welder started and get the saw fired up, and we'll get going here. Alrighty, welder didn't start yesterday, but it did today. So here's just kind of some rough layout, just getting started here. Nothing's up tight, or really, it's just kind of close. It's going to be 7 foot across and 42 inches end to end. So you'll end up with inside a little under 7 foot, a little under 42-inch work platform. These I need to cut off yet. These are going to be 39 and 5/8, and 39 and 5/8 plus 2 3/8 over there will make 42. Worked out. You know, I drew this out the other day, yesterday, like this. I was thinking that it was going to be wide enough that I would need another support here and here, but actually measuring off the tractor, 7 foot's perfect to fit their tractor, and it's pretty equally spaced, and actually the forks are wider apart than the space between this fork tube and this end support. So I don't need another one in there after all, which is fine. Just leaves that material for making my mid rails up taller. So anyway, you can imagine coming off of that, I decided to actually go 48 inches just because we were looking at it and talking about it. 43 felt too short. So I know that's the OSHA standard, but I didn't like it. So anyway, we're going to make it a little bit taller. But coming off of that corner, this corner, that corner, one up in the middle, and one right here above this one right here above this one will be my uprights sticking up, and then a top handrail all the way around, and that'll be kind of a U shape, and I'll miter this one up here, if that makes sense, back down. The reason I'm going to the trouble for the miters, and that's going to be kind of complicated because I'll have a weird kind of triple saddle situation down here, or I guess it's a corner saddle, let's call it. And it's going to come up and 45 this way, over here 45 that way, 45 back this way, and then 45 down. That's kind of complicated. The reason I'm doing that though I don't know if you can see the wasps flying around though. They love to get in holes like this. So I don't want to leave any open holes on the ends that wasp can get in, because obviously if you get in the lift and you get up in the air and then all of a sudden wasps start coming out and stinging you and stuff, that's kind of obviously not ideal. So yeah, we'll just close up all of those holes. The only holes will be the ones that the forks go in, and you could shove something in there to keep the wasp out while you're not using it if you want. But by the time you slide the tractor forks in, he'll know if there's wasp in there, and you can stop and kill them. So all right, I'm gonna go get my other tape measure, and yeah, we'll be back, and we'll cut these off. And I don't know. From there, we're about done roughing out. I'm gonna have to go get the tractor. So see you in a little bit. Yeah, the welder's running terribly. It's hunting real bad. Usually when that happens, just from experience, it needs a new fuel filter. So it was wanting to get through this last 45, and I think that was the last one I was wanting to cut. But anyway, so I got 45 cut on this side. That'll go there. The other end of this will get saddled, and it'll attach to this. Same for that one there. And then I've got one of the 45s cut. Not this one, it's the other side. For this piece here, this long one, and that will be the 7-foot piece that is up at the top. So I gotta run to town, get a fuel filter. I don't think I have time today to get there and back. They're already closed. So all right, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll get back on it. Alrighty, well, what you just saw was back in the summer when I started this man lift project, or man basket project for the tractor, and we're about done with it now. I didn't show most of it. My phone was overheating when I started, so I couldn't film it. And then, quite frankly, I just kind of forgot to film building out the rest of it. So you guys saw the base that I was building. It's underneath there now. We got a wooden floor in it. As you see, we got mid rails. So pretty cool. Almost done. Just got to weld some chains on it, and I'll put some feet on it to make it easier to get the tractor stabbed into it. So we turn this camera around real quick, and I'll kind of show you what we ended up doing. Alrighty, so here it is. We've got toe board on there. Those got kind of burnt because you can see I welded tabs that are screwed down to the floor. I was afraid these would be floppy just because of how long they are. On this side, we have a door. The door ended up being kind of stiff, but it opens up all right. So pretty cool there. And then what I'm about to do is take a piece of chain and weld this hook on here about like so, at a little bit of an angle. See that? That way it's kind of biased, and this chain will just wrap around that post and the door, and that will keep the door from coming open. Then this side, I'll weld hooks on here. Then we can use these hooks to hang buckets or something off of, or whatever we might need to do while we're working out of the lift. One on this side and one on this side. And these are just broken ends of the chain that I broke off. In fact, you can see this one's still got the link that I stretched in half pulling on that tree with the bulldozer earlier this year. So weld one on that side, one on this side, and then use a boomer, like a chain tensioner, and wrap that around the forks of the tractor. And then this is the forks that we're going to be using. So you can see that bar is going to sit about here or so. So that chain will wrap all the way around this nice fork carriage. And we'll be able to put a boomer on there, strap that down nice and tight so it's not going anywhere. So, yeah, I'm just going to weld these chain links on real quick, and then we'll flip it over upside down. And I've got these little just collars, just little scraps, and I weld one on each corner to make the feet, and that'll get it up off the ground so that you can see it a little bit easier while you're stabbing the forks in there. So, all right, pretty cool. Almost done. And then we can get to work with it. We've been needing it for a while now. So, all right, let me set up this time lapse and we'll get her finished. chains welded on. Got her upside down now. And we're just gonna weld these collars onto the corners like the other two are sitting up over there. I'll straighten that one out, it's not sitting square yet. So one more quick time lapse and we'll be done with this. Man basket all done. So let's see how this chain works on this side. Pull it through there, drop it in, just like that. And then these chains here, they're a little bit longer than they need to be. I might cut them off shorter later, I don't know. But anyway, pretty cool. So we're getting some stuff ready and we're gonna put it to use. So alrighty. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it's been a while on this one. See you next time. Testing, make sure it can't fall off of there. Ain't no way that's coming off of there. Heck yeah. I like it.